I think the theme of this travel trip is I can't feel my hands while I film because it's so cold. Like I can't write because I'm so frozen. Hey there fellow travelers or non-travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Stockholm, Sweden, and today we're going to go through some of the reasons why people don't travel. Because a lot of people write to me like, Mark, how do I get my husband to want to travel? How do I get my friends to want to travel? How do I get my mom to travel? What you have to realize is people have different reasons why they don't want to travel, and some are traumatic, some aren't that big of a deal, and some are just laziness, right? And I think one of the things I want to talk about, and one of the biggest ones that really holds people back from traveling, is the money aspect. I mean, honestly, it's not free to travel. I get so mad at those websites and YouTubers and stuff that say, oh, we'll teach you how to travel the world for free. It's never free. Never. Okay? And that's one of those things. You have to earn those points somehow. You got to spend money to get the points to do the stuff. And that's the thing. It's like if you don't have the money to travel, you can't travel. Okay? So one of the things I recommend for people, if money is holding you back from traveling, set up a travel savings account, a place where only money to save up for travels are. I've actually worked with families that spent years saving up to do a trip to Paris. And the mom literally just put something like 50 bucks away a month for, I think it was 5 years, because she's like, I want to take my son to Disneyland Paris. That's my dream. I'm like, well, here's what we can do. And it was really cool to see they actually got to do it in the end. But that's one of those things, money does hold people back, right? And it's a legit thing. Another thing that holds people back are kids. Look, you've seen us, you've seen our videos. If you're watching this, you know we take our kids all over the world. We've gone to places like El Salvador, Rwanda. We brought them here to Stockholm. We've taken them all over. We go to grandma's house too. But a lot of people use kids as an excuse. Oh, well, we can't leave the kids. Oh, what will we do with the kids? How will the kids survive without us? We couldn't take kids with us. They don't know how to travel. Those are all lame excuses. Believe me, kids actually do like to travel because they get to try new things. They get to play in new places. They get to meet new friends. They get to see new toys. They get to go to new theme parks. You can have fun traveling with your kids, and it's not that hard. And honestly, I think it's harder for parents to travel with their kids than the kids to travel, okay? So don't leave your kids at home. Don't let there be something to stop you from going, right? So what you should do is get your kids involved with the traveling. Have them help you figure out where you're gonna go so they have a buy-in. They get to choose part of it. So therefore, this is your day on the trip. You're the one who chose us to go to Wisconsin and do the outdoor market there, the outdoor adventure stuff there. You're the one who chose to go to the Berlin Wall, so we go there. They get that choice. If they take that ownership, then they like traveling anymore because it's their trip, and that helps you feel better about going. Now let's get into a more fear-induced reason why people don't travel, and that is the fear of flying. Like, people are really scared to fly. It's because they feel like they're out of control, or they're worried there's gonna be a crash, or it's so far, we're over the ocean, I don't know. It's scary. You know, I'm scared to fly sometimes too. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I don't let it stop me. You gotta figure out, how can I overcome this? Maybe you need to talk to your doctor if they can give you something to help you sleep on the plane, or talk to a therapist to say, why is it you're so worried about flying and the traveling? Because part of it's a mental block sometimes that keep people from traveling. I know people that are literally paralyzed. The idea of getting on a plane, literally the thought of, I gotta travel 2 weeks from now to go to Japan, I need help now. I've got a friend of mine, Rachel. She goes through, she has whole videos and blogs on how she overcomes, the fear of flying, because she has severe fear of flying, but she's a travel blogger and she still gets on the plane. So there's ways you can do to overcome that fear to help you travel. Now, what if I told you that when I was a child, we never traveled farther than going from Illinois to Ohio for vacation? Yeah, my summer vacations were spent in Toledo, Ohio and Sandusky, Ohio. I saw Grandpa and his wife in Toledo, and then I went to Sandusky and we went and saw our friends and went to Cedar Point. That's it. We didn't have any cool European adventures, South America trips. Let's go to Japan. No, none of that. And that's the thing, is sometimes you have a family history where traveling wasn't part of your family. It wasn't part of what you did. My parents didn't go to Europe. They travel all the time there now, but they didn't go until I was in my mid-20s when I was doing my master's in Germany, and they realized, hey, this is kind of fun. And so if you're dealing with someone whose family didn't travel and it wasn't part of their family kind of stuff, they're not used to it. So for them, they're like, well, why would I travel? I don't see the point of it, right? And so if you have someone like that, you need to talk to them like, hey, what are the benefits of travel? How can we get to know each other better? How can we see the world better? Show them why it could be a good idea to travel, and they can see more of the world. And sometimes that starts by taking them to restaurants at different food places. Like, oh, you like Mexican food? Well, why don't we go to Cancun? Why don't we go to Mexico City? Oh, did you have the Ethiopian food where they use the sponge stuff? We could check out Ethiopia. Now, another reason why people might not travel is just because of mobility issues or disability issues, and they might feel like there's not an opportunity for them to travel, or there's not going to be the support for them to travel. Well, this is one that I've traveled around the world, and there are countries and there are cities where people with limited mobility, it is not a good idea to travel there, and it sucks. However, there are places where it's fantastic. Coming to Sweden, going to Finland, they have all kinds of great stuff for people with limited mobility to help you get around. There are societies and associations that help disabled travelers to get in these places, whether it's mobility issues or you're blind or deaf. I mean, there's so many things out there to help people that need a little bit extra help to travel. So don't let that stop you. Find the resources to help you to do these things. Now, another serious reason why people might not travel is they're sick. Illness is a real deal. Like if you've had bronchitis for a long time, or you're recovering from cancer, I mean, there's a mental hurdle like, do I feel up to go fly again? After you've been in that MRI machine, does the plane feel like a metal tube of death? I mean, that's what my dad told me. He's like, Dad, I can't get in there. He's like, Mark, I can't get in the plane. It's a metal tube of death. And I'm like, you can't say that when we're getting on the plane. But he had cancer, and he had the MRI stuff and all these things, and it changed how he thought. And that kind of holds people back. So one, I mean, talk to your medical professional if you can travel, or what they would recommend, because it might be you can travel, but you can't go so far. And that could be something, do shorter trips. Maybe you just do road trips now. Like my mom and my dad, they don't fly out to Santa Fe to go see their friends. They actually drive out there. Yeah, it's a couple days, but they drive, so they still get that traveling in. Now, another reason why people might not travel is because they have no one to travel with. Look, it's okay to do solo travel. I'm actually here right now in Stockholm by myself because I want to travel. It's okay. The kids are in school. Jocelyn's watching them. She was in New Orleans before this, so we kind of switch back and forth. And some people feel like it's not right to travel by yourself. It's not safe to travel by yourself. You can travel by yourself. We have plenty of videos to help you travel. And you're like, well, I need videos specifically on traveling solo. No, you don't. You travel solo the same as you travel with other people. You're seeing the same sights, you need the same food. You can travel on your own. It's okay. And you can meet some really cool people while you travel. Some of my best friends I have my entire life I have met on my travels. Magnus in Germany, Alvi in Lithuania, Nando from Italy. I mean, I met him in Brazil fishing for piranha when I was solo traveling. Another cop-out reason people use to not travel is, oh, I don't speak the language of that country. Well, if you speak English, you pretty much speak the de facto tourism language of every single country in the world. Believe me, I've been to a lot of them, and English is the de facto tourist language pretty much all the time. Look, you don't have to speak a local language to enjoy a place, or you can go to a place like here in Sweden where literally like everybody speaks like fantastic English, so you really don't need to know anything, but at least learn tack, which is thank you when you go someplace, like the thank yous. There's that. So the language barrier should never stop you. And if you want, go pick up a Duolingo or a Babbel or something, or a Pimsleur, and learn a bit of the language before you go so you feel more comfortable. Now then there's just the fact that sometimes you just don't have time to get away. You don't have the vacation time, right? I mean, that does happen when the boss like, you gotta be here, or you run your own business. And if you run your own business, you know how it is. Like if you don't run it, it doesn't get run. You don't make any money. You can't afford to go on vacation anyway. So what you need to do is really kind of plan out time to get away. Maybe it can't be now. Maybe you're looking next summer or 2 summers from now, something that's planned out, so then you can have everything arranged so people can make sure everything works so you can get that time off. Because if you're working that much, you're owning your own business, your employees know what you're putting in, and they'll be happy for you to be able to get that time off. And if your boss isn't letting you take your PTO, it might be time to look for a new boss, i.e. a new job. And then there's just the daunting thought of, I have to plan a 10-day trip to Europe. Oh, where do I go? what do we do? Like, where do I stay? Like, how do I get around? What do I eat? What do I need to do? Like, it's just so much to deal with that you don't want to deal with it. This is one of those times I recommend you use a travel agent. Because if you don't even know where to begin, a travel agent, a licensed travel agent, can help you find the right trip for you. If it's adventure you want to go for, maybe they'll hook you up with Costa Rica. If it's culture you want to see, maybe they'll send you here to Sweden and Europe and stuff. Or maybe it's, hey, I want to get back to nature. Well, we're going to send you to the Pacific Northwest of the US. They can do that for you, and they take the work out of it for you. So that can make your life so much easier. So then that pressure goes away, so then you can focus on relaxing and having a trip and enjoying yourself and not staying home because you're scared about planning it all. And then there's the lamest excuse that people give me, and that is they don't have a passport. You know what it takes to go to get a passport? Go to the post office, get the form, fill it out. Have the picture. Sometimes they'll take a picture for you. Give them the form with the check, and that's it. Right? Yeah, you have to have some documents, you know, like your driver's license and some other stuff, but like, it's not that hard to do. It's not that hard to do at all. But people think it's so daunting that no, I can't possibly do it. And kind of going along with getting the passport is getting a visa. Because some countries you go to, you do need a visa. It's another set of documents you need to turn in to prove maybe how much money you have, that you can afford to go there, or just a little bit more information in case you have the right vaccinations. If there's different things on there. But it's not impossible to do. It is annoying, like getting your visa for Bolivia is a pain, right? But the thing is, you can get it done. And there's services that will do it for you so you don't have to deal with it. They get to deal with all the rigmarole, all right? So these are just some of the ways I've seen that people have given reasons why they can't travel. What are some of the reasons that you've heard why people say they can't travel? Let us know in the comments below, and I'll say bye from here in Stockholm, Sweden, and I hope I see you traveling soon. Bye.